Every time I'm done doing a job, I put a fresh battery on the drill, and I put the one I was just using on to charge. Can't do it with one hand, but that way I never go out with a dead one. I just use this. It's called a uni bit for drilling metal, and they're very sharp. I bought one years ago or a 2-pack years ago at Harbor Freight, 2 for $10. Broke them both within 10 minutes. This is an $80 one. It has done hundreds of holes through steel, aluminum, and it's still extremely sharp. I just went ahead and used it on the vehicle earlier this year. Yeah, I just had to drill through part of the frame where water was collecting. It's not the factory frame. It's part of an aftermarket frame meant to hold up the bigger gas tank I put on the truck. And I went underneath and I noticed a whole bunch of rusty water pouring out of the new part of the frame. It's because water's sitting in it and can't get out. So when you slam the brake on, some of it slid out the end of the tube frame. So the dip in it, I made a little hole in it, drained it out. I just, with a file, made it nice and smooth. Next dry day, I'll just spray paint the opening, and I'll try to get like a pipe cleaner and try to get some paint up inside there too. Made a little hole. I didn't go that far. I went maybe like this just so to make a drain hole through it. New battery on, and that one will charge up. They charge actually fairly fast. And if you guys haven't seen this video yet, we're working on a pretty interesting bench. I just stained in polyurethane in one. That's the second coat there. Once that dries, I think I'm going to put these stair treads on it. Or, yeah, I think I am. It looks nice and polished, right? But I'm just going to put these stair treads over. It's a nice thing to sit on, and it'll cover up the writing. This was the nicer side, so I put the writing up. I was originally going to spray paint the whole thing black so it would look more industrial with the springs. But now it's like a more rustic look, and those are up now. I would have put the worst side up if I knew I was going to polyurethane it and sand it and make it smooth, but oh well. That will get covered with this. I don't think I want to stick it, because who knows, maybe in the future, well, if I pull the nails out, I'm going to have to refinish it anyways. I might just put it on with a couple tacks. I might use, you know, thumbtacks, the smooth kind that you can't pull back out. But I thought that came along nice. That should be dry by tomorrow. I'll put those on, flip it upside down, and I want to put little rubber nubs on the bottom so it doesn't scrape up the floor. Alright, now I'm back upstairs, and look at the size of this unit bit. This thing is huge. I never actually seen one this big. I was looking on the internet, and they're very uncommon, one this big. Look at that, 2 3/8. Now this was a cheaper one, so this would probably break if I tried to use it on steel, but I didn't buy it for steel. I bought this one for wood. The reason I bought this, and I actually think it'll look nice, it will look kind of cool, the little tapered hole. This is for making birdhouse holes bigger. Now, it's not that easy to use a hole saw over an existing saw without the pilot drill in there. So instead of using hole saws, I bought this to make birdhouse holes bigger. If you guys seen my vlog a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, building the big birdhouse pole, I'm going to let that go a year. I purposely made the holes 1.25 inches, which is too small typically for the invasive sparrow, but it'll be good for wrens, finches, songbirds, which are communal birds that'll live next to each other like that. Chances are nothing's going to live in it. Nothing ever lives in my houses here in the country because they got too many options in the woods. But if it was a city, that thing would be filled up right away with wrens and things. But if nothing moves into it in a year, I think I'm going to make all the holes bigger and open it up to a lot of different types of birds. Actually, I think I'm going to take the whole thing apart and remove half of the walls. Instead of it having 20 compartments, I might reduce it to like 6 or 8. And I'll make massive holes in it instead. Actually, if I do that, I won't even need it. But I can use this for other birdhouses in the woods. We'll give opportunities to bigger birds if nothing small wants to use them, like birdhouses I've had out there for years. Yeah, I might completely rethink that entire birdhouse if nothing lives in it. Instead of 20 compartments, I might make it into, like I said, 6 or 8 for much bigger birds. Or who knows, maybe I'll make it into just 2 units. And a house that big would be good for a certain kind of woodpecker. Needs a 2-foot tall house by 12 by 8 or something like that. Yeah, I might rebuild the entire thing. I know there's a certain kind of woodpecker we have that's also a communal bird. I've never actually seen a starling up here. We used to have those all the time, and they were invasive. They'll actually kill babies of other things. People were asking, why don't you have the little dowel sticks for them to stand on in front of the doors? Because a predator, like a starling, will stand on that and eat the babies of something else. That's what they do. Anyways, yeah, that's why I made a little video about these uni bits. They work really good. They're step bits. You see, it has all the marks. You could do all different sizes with it. It's really handy. But this cheap one here, and that is cheap. You might say, what did I say, 30 bucks for this? That is very cheap for a unibit. This would go dull so fast on metal. Like I just showed, that little one I had downstairs was 80 bucks. And the cheap Harbor Freight ones, I broke 2 of them in 10 minutes. But this thing here is for, I'm just planning on using it on wood, so it should last a long time. So here's some things I bought on that website, Temu. Very cheap items. Like these batteries here are usually pretty expensive. It was 10 bucks for the 8 instead of 4 bucks. I mean, 4 of them for like 25 bucks on Amazon. These are for a special flashlight I have. 18650 batteries. Yeah, the reason I use this site, Temu, is because on YouTube, I saw a guy, the YouTube channel Donut, was showing cheap tools from them, and he showed a impact driver for 30 bucks, and he said it actually did way better than a bunch of name brand ones as far as torque and performance. We don't know about longevity, though. Well, I went on there looking at those. They're 30 bucks to count with the detachable battery, but this was labeled as an impact gun. When it showed up, now it says coreless screwdriver, and I'm kind of sad because that means it's not going to be hammering. The ad actually said impact, which means there's a hammer inside there. When it gets stuck, it boom, 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 a little bit at a time until the screw's in. But it's kind of cool, I guess, but it probably has no power. I want to test what this can actually screw in. It came with a little charger. It should be pretty charged up, but that won't affect its torque until it just dead. So it came with 2 bits. It was 8 bucks. I thought it was going to be a really cheap impact driver, but it's not. This right here was like 12 bucks. These are, it said it can do metal or anything, but even if I burn them out on a job, for the cheap price of these, it's worth it. But I'll mainly be using them for making pilot holes in wood. $2 extra for the case. When I got the case, I was a little concerned. I was like, oh no. This metal piece fell out of the hinge, and I was like, did it not come with it? No, it came with it. I also found this on there for $1 something. What do you guys think of this? I've never seen this before. Is it a good idea? And they're all over the floor. They're tire plugs that you screw in with a screwdriver. It's got a Phillips on the top, and you just, when you pull a nail or something out of your tire, you just go ahead and screw it in. Is that a good idea or no? I definitely think it could work as a very temporary solution. Yeah, it came with a really cool little case. You could repurpose that case for like a pill doesn't get wet, or I don't know. Really cool little cases. Look at that. And these were on there for like $3. This, I think, will be really good. You see, it's drill bits. I feel like this will be really good for cleaning the grill of the truck, which I usually don't have the patience, and I don't even clean out every little groove. I feel like these would come in handy for a lot of things. Cleaning really dirty things. Drill-powered scrub brushes. And these right here I bought. $8 pair of shoes. They're not bad for a throw-around pair around the house, but these remind me of Walmart shoes. Walmart actually still sells shoes for under $20, and the bottom usually falls off in a week or two. You can glue it back for a good amount of time, but the way I walk around all the time and the muddy, wet things I do, these are going to be like Walmart shoes. They're probably going to be destroyed if I wore them for 2 weeks straight. But I guess they'll just be house shoes if I'm doing dirty projects. I usually don't wear shoes in the house, but I was wondering what an $8 pair of shoes would be like. They're very light. The bottom actually is not horrible material. It's nice rubber, but it's extremely thin. Very, very thin. You're going to feel things you're stepping on. Now, yeah, they're very light. The Walmart ones, actually the bottom feels like a piece of styrofoam. This does not. They're just very, very thin. And here's like a different one. It's a more military looking one. This right here was about $6. It was a little sale on there. And I had to buy this because it's hilarious. Look at this. Chicken pooping out an egg light. I thought that was so funny. I got that thing for like $6. These things also came from that website. It's like $2 for the little thing of crystals. A couple of bucks for these. It's bugs and amber. It's plastic. It's not real amber, I don't think. Japanese beetles, scorpions, and a baby crab, which I'm kind of sad about the little crab that died for that. And it's a fake gold bar. It's made out of plastic. It's labeled as a doorstop, but it's kind of light. There's probably a piece of concrete in there, but it's still pretty light. I wouldn't use it for anything more than a paperweight. This, in the advertisement, I thought it was just a stone that looked like a cicada, but it's a necklace. I wish it was just a stone. This is from the dollar store. This thing I got years ago from my dad. It shows you how to pick a lock. It shows you all the pins and stuff. Look at this. This was from Amazon a while back. Now that's real copper. And this here is mica, like they hit the fake gold. This I bought like many years ago on eBay. Look at that. And this here came from Temu. That was like $4. It feels like it's made out of foam. No. It feels like it's made out of, it's very light, like the PVC lumber. So I got to make a hole in that and put it on the wall. And it can join the wall of signs. I thought this thing was kind of cute. This thing also came from Temu. The alien holding a gnome. I got a really good deal on these things. It tells you the humidity of the room, and it tells you the temperature. Yeah, I got a 4-pack, a really good deal on them. I have one here in the living room next to all the plants. I want to put one in the room with the wood stove because I wonder how dry it's going to make that room. I want to put one outside so I know the humidity in the summer because I'm never really sure. And my weather, when I go to look at it, I live high elevation. There's no weather station near me. It's in town, which is hundreds of feet below me. So it's not always the same. I like to take my own readings. And I also want to put one in my bathroom to make sure the bathroom fan is doing its job. Oh, this thing came from that website. It was less than $1. These magnets here that resemble thumbtacks were less than $1 too. Look at these frogs up here in this window. That frog right there I've had for years. It was my dad's. I cleaned it the other day in the sink, and I accidentally chipped part of it. I went on eBay. I found another one. I wonder if this one's more shiny because it's never been outside. This one's been outside every year, and we bring it in. I don't think they're the same thing, but they're also handcrafted, so they'll never be exactly the same. I just bought another one. It was actually pretty cheap on eBay. The listing said it's from the 80s. I'm not sure. The new one's actually a piggy bank. It's got the slot on the top. The older one doesn't. This thing right here also came from Temu. I thought this was pretty fun to play with. So yeah, that website has a bunch of cheap things under $1. It's also got a bunch of other cheap things, I realized. But I also realized the prices are going up fast. And someone else I know who uses it often also said they're going up pretty fast. It's just like what Amazon did and Jeff Bezos. At first, the first 10 years of operation, Amazon was losing money. Super cheap prices to put everyone else out of business. And once everyone else was out of business, bring the prices up to normal or higher than normal. And that's when the profit starts rolling in because there's no more competition. I feel like this website started low just to get people involved in it. And now the prices are going to keep going up. This right here is a Tesla coil I bought years ago on Amazon. This might get loud to headphone users if you want to watch your ears. It tickled. It got me a couple times. It doesn't really hurt. In fact, it's actually advertised as a children's toy. I'm not going to put my finger right in there, but yeah, it's not supposed to hurt you. And you're also supposed to, it came with little light bulbs here. If you hold them up to it, they light up. You can also take a bigger light bulb and it flickers a little bit. And I hope this little video was interesting, everybody. Thank you for watching today's vlog, and have a great night.